Mel Albin. I'm the host and the founder of the Jazz Confusion
My
Power
name
Hour.
is Dion Parson, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Jazz Confusion Power Hour. I'm your host, Mel Albin, and let me tell you first a little bit about the show, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the radio station, and then we'll interview our guest tonight, who's very special. I know you're going to enjoy this a lot. So first, let me tell you a little bit about the Power Hour. I developed the Power Hour so that you can learn more about the artist who creates the music that you love. It's great to hear that music, but when you hear how they create it and what they go through and the effort they put in and the time, the music takes on more of a meaning for you. So that was the idea behind the music. So you get to know not only their story, but how the artist goes about their daily business. We take you backstage into the mind of the artist, and we broadcast the Power Hour every Thursday night, and it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and we stream in 4K and Dolby True HD. The show is on the Source TV radio network. It's a nonprofit 501c3 radio station. We support jazz and jazz artists and also Black and minority micro businesses so that they can build scale, so they can get on the finance industry radar and ultimately create an increase in generational transfer of wealth, assisting both families and the community for equality and equity. We depend on listener contributions and artist contributions who appear on our shows for mutual support, and also sponsors to cover our costs of broadcasting. So any contribution, any donation that you make to Source keeps jazz alive and well and supports the artists that you love to hear every day. The donations are greatly appreciated, and remember, they're always completely tax deductible. The Power Hour has had over 150 amazing artists, well known and becoming well known, on over the past 4 or 5 years. They include Eric Roberson, Mesa, Brian Culberson, Paul Brown, Boone DeVaughn, Reagan Whiteside, Alex Harris, Greg Adams, Tom Brown, Costello, Eric Darius, Greg Adams, who else? Kamasi Washington, Kiko Matsui, Annie Lennox, Dwelle, Marie Antoinette, Jay Brown, Miss Monet, Yulia, Blake Aaron, Terry Woolman, her, Celine Johnson, Aaron Stevenson, Davis Swan Poole, Cecily, the late Bobby Caldwell, Jeff Bradshaw, Dion Parson, Curtis from Pieces of a Dream, Tammy McCann, Jeff Beck, Eric Burden, Mickey Howard, and many others. So we have a tremendous variety of people in jazz crossover, R&B, and soul. And tonight is no exception. We have a wonderful guest. Born in Cleveland, and throughout her childhood, she honed her skills by singing with various groups and choirs, including her own family, the Weeden Family Singers, a 50-plus voice gospel choir, included her as a teenager to record the critically acclaimed album, Victory Shall Be Mine. She's often been compared to classic artists like Gladys Knight. She adds a breath of fresh air to today's music with a timeliness sound of her own. She's performed at renowned venues, including the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum, numerous House of Blues venues across the nation, B.B. King's, many prestigious casinos, including the MGM Grand, Madison Square Garden, the NFL Players Association at Super Bowl 39, and also she's appeared in nearly all major theaters across the U.S. This extraordinary entertainer shared the stage with Stevie Wonder, Brian McKnight, Babyface, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Indira Ari, Jill Scott, Kenny G, Bob Dylan, Cassandra Wilson, and John Legend. She's performed with such great gospel artists like Mary Mary, Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin, Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child, and many others. She sang background for Grammy Award-winning megastars like the late Gerald Levert and Anthony Hamilton. She is the faculty roster. She's on the faculty roster at the Fine Arts Association in Willoughby, Ohio, which is a prestigious private art school where she teaches classes to students of all ages. So please welcome to the Power Hour our special guest for tonight, Stacey Richardson Crawford, alias Sarah's Girl.
Hi.
Welcome, Stacey.
How you doing?
Good. You heard the introduction?
Oh yeah, so it makes me sound important.
Well, you are important, or you wouldn't be here. So, first of all, thank you for taking the time to share your life and your music with our audience tonight. I'm sure they're going to really enjoy what you bring tonight. So I want to thank you in advance.
Thank you.
So the first question I want to ask you, where did the name Sarah's Girl come from?
Well, my mom's name is Sarah, and my mother was a musician here in Cleveland, and everybody knew my mother. She was involved in any and everything you can possibly think of. So people would see me and they said, "You must be Sarah's girl because you look just like her," and that's where it came from.
Wonderful. So you adopted that as your stage persona?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
You know, I like to start off the show all the time, Stacey, by asking the artist to share with everybody what's cooking for 2025. It's the start of the year. What do you have going on? What are you planning to do during this year?
Well, I am on the road with Pieces of a Dream now, as their vocalist. And so we have a few dates coming up, and we have a single coming out soon as well. I personally, for my own little project, I have a single out now that just came out in November, and our next single is going to be released for Valentine's Day. And then throughout the year, I plan on hitting the road and getting in some of these cities so they can hear me up close and personal.
Wonderful. And by the way, the song that you're going to release for Valentine's Day, everyone can hear it first exclusively tonight on this show on the Source Radio Network. So,
Yes.
You know, you're going to hear her newest music coming out.
Yes.
So,
And the complete project will be released in the summertime.
wonderful. That's great. You know, you came from a musical family steeped in gospel. Why don't you tell people a little bit about your family and how you grew up with music?
Well, my grandfather, Reverend Dr. John T. Weeden, was a pastor, a prominent pastor here in the Cleveland area. And my grandmother was a musician. So my grandmother played the piano, and they had 9 children. So out of the 9 children, almost all of them are musicians. And
Wow.
my grandmother started the Weeden Wonders, which was my mom and her siblings. And they would sing in church and different programs. And then as they got older and the family started growing, it ended up being the Weeden Family Singers, which had at least 50 something people in it at one time. So it was all my uncles, aunts, cousins, and we all started singing pretty much as soon as you could talk, you're singing. Even when you can't talk, you're singing.
Well, you grew up in Cleveland too. And, you know, Cleveland of course, has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, the term rock and roll came from Cleveland. And you know, it's very steeped in classical music and also, you know, in jazz and rock. And so, you know, how did growing up in Cleveland influence you? Did you go to clubs when you were a teenager in Cleveland? What did you do?
It's funny because I actually I sung mostly gospel music. I didn't really sing a lot of secular music. But my mom would take me to these jazz clubs and I would sing. I was like 10 years old, maybe.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, it was Ace Carter. Ace Carter ended up with, he was a big jazz guy, and he was with Count Basie Band. And he would accompany me when I would sing at the clubs, and we would go and see him. And I would always sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So that's where, and you know, my uncle Paul Weeden Sr., he was a jazz musician. He left here, went overseas, played, and never came back. But when I tell you, his son is a bass player now, and he's in Sweden. And he was telling us stories about, he had pictures of my Uncle Paul with Jimi Hendrix. He said every time Jimi Hendrix would go overseas, he would stay with my Uncle Paul. And he was instrumental in a lot of people's musical history. So like he taught all kinds of guys, people that you like, names you know off the top of your head. He taught everybody. So everybody knew my Uncle Paul.
Wow.
He was also with Count Basie Band.
Yeah. So so basically you were introduced to the jazz clubs in Cleveland. Were there any, did you hang out in other clubs besides jazz clubs? Did you?
Oh, goodness. I was sneaking in clubs. I was sneaking because I love the music and I just wanted to hear more. I just needed more. So like the Reason Why back in the day that was in Shaker Heights, I would sneak in there just to hear people sing like Evelyn Wright. She was like one of my biggest mentor. Well, she wasn't a mentor, but I just love to go and hear her sing. And she's still around now. She's like amazing to me.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I told you before the show started, I lived in Cleveland for about 10 years. I lived in Shaker Heights
Yeah.
for a while too. And the
So
music scene.
you know how it is.
Yeah, and I used to go to the flats all the time, and
Yeah. Peabody's. I used to go to see Forecast and Peabody's, and one time I ended up singing with them down in the flats. I was like, wow, this was great. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's great. When you started in public school, did you participate in chorus or any of the music programs? Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Ever since elementary school, my teacher was Lillian Bradford, and she was wow. She was amazing. But she had me involved in all of the school plays, and I was the lead in a couple plays. I was the lead in The Sound of Music and A Mall and the Night Visitors in elementary school. And then when I got to high school, I was doing a lot of competitions. Chuck Valley was my teacher then. And when I tell you, I was all music. It was all music all the time. And because I was singing with my family, that's back in the day when church services were in the evenings every day of the week. So I would sing with them during the week. I was singing in school all day, every day. We were doing competitions and you name it. Wycliffe, I went to Wycliffe High School. So we had the Rocky Road Review, which is still going on today. And I was, singing with them. And it's funny because one of the students that I grew up with, she said, she just remembers, I couldn't remember the words. I was learning the words right before I went on stage and I sung the song. And it's crazy because I do the same thing now.
That's great. We're going to talk about, how you build a song in the studio and about songwriting and other things as the show goes on. But, I'm curious, when would you say was your first professional debut? Where was it? What was it? Was it a recording? Was it a performance?
I recorded like most of my life, so that wasn't a big deal. It was just something like everybody does. I thought everybody did it because that's just something I always did. But I think when I went on the road for the first time, I was singing with the big band jazz at Xavier University. That's where I went to school.
Okay.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Well, I'm curious, now that you've moved along in your career, where you are today, when you think back on those early days, if you could give yourself any advice back then, what would you tell yourself when you were starting out?
Be more selective.
Explain.
What you do.
Explain.
Because I was just doing everything. I was singing for everyone, but it wasn't a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. But I was singing a lot, and I don't know. I don't really have. That's not really a negative experience, but I don't know what I would tell. I probably wouldn't do a whole lot differently because of all the things that I did. I was involved in a lot of different kinds of music. So I've done rock, gospel, big band jazz, smooth jazz, you name it. I've done so many different things because of just putting myself out there all the time.
When you started your music career, you were on the cusp of the transition from record label and radio to
Hmm.
to CDs and eventually streaming,
Yeah.
and eventually having to build your own team and manage your own career. You
Hmm.
know, so how did you approach that? How did you build your career at the beginning? What did you do?
Well, the CD that I did, my previous CD, the first one that came out was in 2011. So I had them behind me and they were pushing and helping me with everything and anything that I needed
Who
to
was
get
that? Who's they?
It was New Millennium record label with
Okay.
Leonard Siggers. He's now in Arizona. I miss him a lot, but he got all the musicians together. He was giving me tracks. I just start writing to them. I also worked with Stan Davis in Philly. That's actually where I really started with Stan. And we did 2 songs together. We did one of the ones that you're going to be playing and Sarah Smile. And we did Sarah Smile.
I
That's
love that track.
that's when I was approached by Leonard and I started working here in Cleveland.
Okay. And how did you get a hold of Stan in Philly? How did that happen?
Just meeting people on the road.
Okay.
He was with Family Kindred Soul. He was also with Tina Marie at the time.
Oh.
And we met and he's like, let's work. Like, sure. I drove to Philly and stayed there a few days and we just started recording. And yeah, I can't wait to work with him again.
Yeah. Tina Marie is an amazing,
Oh yeah, yeah,
amazing talent too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay. Let's play some of your music. I'm going to
Okay.
start off tonight playing for our audience. The first song I want to play is Illusion. So why
That's
don't
the
you
one I did with Stan.
Yeah. So why don't you tell people the backstory a little bit on that song? And did you write the lyrics? How did it come
Yes,
about?
yes, I did. It's a long story to that one, but I'll try to make it short. Stan was telling me about an artist that he had a crush on. And he always wanted to approach her, but he said, I don't want to mess things up by taking it further. So basically, it's just an illusion. This is what I'd like to do, but that's not what I'm going to do. So that's where the lyrics came from.
And how did the song get composed and developed? What was your role in that?
Well, we were in the studio and I heard the track and I was like, oh, I could write this to this. This is what it sounds like to me. He gave me the concept. And after we had the concept down, then we just put it down.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody, we want to listen to the first song tonight from Sarah's Girl called Illusion. And then we'll be back and talk about it a little bit more.
Reaching for you, baby. You're not even here. Like a vapor fading midair. Candles glowing slowly, and my fire's burning. Deep inside, I'm yearning for you. To have you, but I can't hold you. Want to hold you, but I can't touch you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you. I'd like to add to that. Ashley Scott was another writer on that song with me.
Okay. All right. You have some comments from people who are listening
Okay.
in already. Kenny Simmons says, love the song. It's dreamy, smooth, and beautiful.
Thank you. I also,
And
let me say this about this song as well. My
yeah.
cousin, she said she had this song on repeat for years or months because her husband passed. And when he passed, she said she was listening to the song, wishing that he was there, and it was an illusion. She turned around, he's not there. When I wrote it, that was nowhere in the scope of what I wrote. But I was like, wow, that's interesting how people get something different out of.
Yeah, exactly. Here's another person, Lois Bryant Lane. Your voice reminds me of Gladys Knight.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And here's another one. Terry Consuelo. Love the arrangement. Do you do your own arranging?
I do. Yes. I love arrangement.
Terrific. All right.
I do.
Yeah, well, you got people listening in and really enjoying your music already.
Awesome. Good.
Yeah. You've had so many memorable performances and recordings over your career. Which one stands out the most and why?
Sarah Smile, probably.
I love that.
Because that was a song that my mom used to listen to. And of course, because her name was Sarah. But at the same time, when I listened to it again, my mom had dementia and Alzheimer's. So the lyrics of the song, I can't even hear it right now. Baby hair with a woman's eyes, I could see you watching in the night, all alone with me, and we're waiting for the sunlight, which to me reminds me of a mother in the middle of the night with her child. When I feel warm, when I feel cold, you warm me. When I feel I can't go on, you hold me. It's me and you forever. That's the first verse. And then the second verse is, if you feel like leaving, you know you can go, but why don't you stay till tomorrow? If you want to be free, all you got to do is say so. When you feel cold, I'll warm you. When you feel like you can't go on, I'll come and hold you. It's you and me forever. So that reminded me of me and my mom's relationship when she took care of me when I was a child, and then it reversed when I had to take care of her at the end of her life.
Have you done a lot of covers over your career? Or
yes.
How did you choose Sarah's Smile?
Because of that.
That was the reason.
Because of that, yeah.
So it wasn't because of the artist that first did it?
It was just because of my mom and Sarah. It was the name Sarah. That was a song that she liked, and so.
Was that Kenny Loggins? Who did that?
Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates. I'm thinking Loggins and Messina, Hall and Oates. I knew it was one of those.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
the lyrics, I don't know what they wrote or why they wrote those lyrics, but for me, it was significant because it was the relationship with me and my mom.
Wonderful. Well, it's really a great song.
Yeah.
So let me pull up.
And actually, I got emotional when I was singing that song, and I had a critic say it's too sexual for a tribute to her mom. And I was actually like trying not to cry. It wasn't like that, but okay, whatever.
Well, it's great. I mean, you did a wonderful job with that
Thank
song.
you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
And when you do covers, the idea is to own it.
Yeah.
So some people try to mimic the original artist, but I love when people take over the song. You and I talked about Macy Gray, who I adore, and Macy does a whole bunch of covers and from all kinds of genres, music you'd never think she'd listen to or perform.
Yeah.
And doing covers is a real art form.
Yeah.
And it brings a lot of the music from past artists to the present and reminds people of how great the music can be.
I love covers. I love them.
Yeah. I have a deep respect for people that do covers, as well as the creative process of writing your own music. And we'll talk about your music writing in a little while.
Okay.
Which I was going to ask you, from all the performances and recordings over your career, the one that stands out the most again?
Stevie Wonder. I
So,
say that every time. Love
so
Stevie Wonder.
tell us a little bit about what you did with Stevie Wonder.
We actually, John Legend and Stevie were honoring Bill Withers for the induction ceremony
Oh.
at the Rock Hall. And I loved meeting, I call him Uncle Bill now. He was just so entertaining.
Okay, you're gonna help me out because I want Bill on my show. He's one of my favorites.
Oh, he's passed now.
What? Oh, when did he pass?
Yeah, he passed a few years ago.
Oh, that's right. He did about
Yeah.
2 or 3. Yeah, about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Oh, yeah.
He
I
was-
wanted him on my show when I first started because of
Wow.
Grandma's Hands.
Yes.
And he did a song that a lot of people don't know much about, "The Love That Makes You Cry."
Oh, yes.
That is an amazing song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all you have to hear are the first 2 or 3 bars of the introduction, and you know it's Bill Withers.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love my favorite of his, I think, is "Who Is He and What Is He to You?"
Yes, that's
I love
wonderful.
that bass line. Doo, doo, doo,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so okay. So you met Bill and you worked with Stevie Wonder and John
Yeah,
Legend.
so I got to work with Stevie because of Bill. And he was okay. So we were so starstruck with Stevie that we were just sitting there like we couldn't even say anything. Me and my niece and my cousin, who were also singing background, and we were just sitting there looking at each other like, he's right here. Oh my gosh. And he said, "Are you guys still here?" We're like, "Yes, we're here." Yeah, I love him.
I forgot that Bill passed. I just
Yeah,
it
yeah.
escaped me. I listened
He
to him.
was such a character. He told us so many stories. I probably shouldn't share them, but he told us a lot of stories about different celebrities that he knew and entertainers that he grew up with. And oh, I just loved him.
You know, he started out. He drove a truck for UPS.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, amazing guy. So I mean, just to be involved with Bill Withers and Stevie Wonder and John Legend. I mean, that's a career in
Paul
itself.
Schaefer. It was because of Paul Schaefer. That's how it all. I've sung with most of these people because of Paul Schaefer.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Paul Schaefer. Tell me a little bit more about Paul Schaefer, because I know that he invited you to sing at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about how you met Paul and how this all came about?
I was on the Letterman show, singing background with Anthony Hamilton. And Paul said, we're at sound check. He said, "Is all that coming out of you?" I said, "Yeah." So he asked if he could have my information and if I would be willing to work with him. And from that point on, I did the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies with him for every 3 years. It was in Cleveland. So every 3rd year we would do that with him. He would call us.
That's great.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
terrific.
That's my Uncle Paul. I call him Uncle Paul.
Uncle
Uncle
Paul.
Bill and Uncle Paul. And I actually have an Uncle Bill and an Uncle Paul, which is crazy.
Yeah, you also sang with Little Anthony and the Imperials, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And Bobby Womack, Ronnie Woods,
Yes.
the Rolling Stones.
Yes. All of that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It was great.
Well,
Smokey
Uncle-
Robinson was another one. Martha Reeves. So many. Jeff Beck.
Jeff Beck too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney.
Wow,
Yeah, it was great.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, you made a lot of TV appearances also, and I want you to talk a little bit about those. You were on the Ellen Show, on Regis and Kelly, on
Mhm.
Good Morning America, the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All of
so
those, most of those were with Anthony Hamilton. When I was singing with Anthony Hamilton, it was Kelly Ripa. I'm only 5'2", and she was like here to me. I was like, she's so little. She was so cute. Everybody was really cool, really cool.
So, and when you were on all these different shows, like Tom Joyner, this was when you were with John Legend.
Tom Joyner, I was with Gerald Levert.
Oh, Gerald Levert at that time too. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Steve Harvey show?
Didn't Steve Harvey, we did the award show. It was an award show. He has I think the Hoodie Awards. I think that's what
Right.
it was.
Yep, he does. Yeah, and then you also were on with Anthony Hamilton. We talked about that also.
Mhm.
So of all of these shows, I guess the Letterman show, when you met Paul, was probably the one that really had the most impact on your career.
Let me say this. Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if you remember when he
I
did
sure
that
do.
show where he sat there and didn't say anything. That's the show we were on.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. It just happened to be the same show.
Yeah, he was in Gladiators.
It was weird. He just sat there and didn't say one word, or maybe a few, but not much. And David Letterman was just sitting there laughing, like, "Oh my goodness, like what is going on?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
There's nothing like a non-interview.
Right.
Well, look, I want to play some more of your music for everybody, and I want to play The Colors of Love. So let me play The Colors of Love first, okay? And then we'll bring you back on, and you'll tell everybody about that song too.
Okay.
Stroll, the yellow sun was shining bright. You walked towards me and all I could see were your big brown eyes so full of light. And it was like the colors of the rainbow opened up in the sky. Promise from above, such a beautiful sight. Who knew that you would fill my life with love? Red light, passion, a painted masterpiece entwined. True blue colors of our love divine. Our love's deep purple, just like royalty, and a jewel crown made of gold. Orange like a cozy but a raging fire, burning deep within our soul. And it was like the colors of the rainbow opened up in the sky. Promise from above, such a beautiful sight. Who knew that you would fill my life with life? Pour
What a beautiful song. In
Thank
fact,
you.
we have a comment. I was just looking at it, um, and it's from Colin Stark, and he said, "This is such a beautiful song. Did you compose and write it?"
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So D Howard is my A&R guy here in Cleveland, and I got the song, the track. He said, "I got this track that you might, want to listen to. You might like it." And he said, "What about doing something about colors?" Great. He said, "Can you do something with colors?" Sure can. So I was on a flight on my way to DC at the time. And no, I was on my way to Dallas at the time. And I wrote it on the plane and I started singing it when I got to my hotel room and put it down. So as soon as I got back to Cleveland, I was like, okay, I got it. Here it is. And the rest is history.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about composing.
Okay.
Are you primarily a lyricist, or do you actually compose the music too?
I'm mostly a lyricist. If I hear something, I used to play the piano, but it's been so many years. Normally I just get tracks, and as soon as I hear it, I can tell which direction I want to go with the song. Because music to me has color. So it could be energetic song, it could be something that's slow and seductive, or it just depends on the mood of the song, and that's where I end up getting my inspiration for the lyrics.
Do you ever just write down lyrics that pop into your head?
I
You hum in
do
the
a lot.
shower, you know?
I do. Like I'm going through. I was on another flight. I'm going through my notes in my phone, and I'm like, you know what? This might match this song over here. So yeah,
Yeah. So
I write lyrics down all the time.
you have a whole collection of lyrics and songs that you
That
probably have not recorded.
I haven't used yet, but they will be used at some point. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. So, I'm just curious. Sometimes if you're driving along in the car, do you just hear does a lyric pop into your head, how
It
does it
could
work?
be normally if someone says, because I listen to a lot of talk radio. So normally they'll say something and a line or just something somebody said will catch my attention. And I'm like, that would make a great song. And I just write that line down, and then later I'll come back and I'll actually develop whatever it was from that point.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to play some more of your music a little later on in the show. But
Okay.
when did you actually do Colors of Love?
Um, that had to be, it was this past summer.
This past summer?
Mhm.
Okay. So
And then
at
it
that
was
time,
released in November 22nd.
and you have an LP out?
It's coming. It's coming. It'll be
That
out in
was
the summer. Yeah, we're
that was my
working.
lead. That was my lead in for you to talk about.
Yes, it's coming in the summer. There will be another single coming out for Valentine's Day, which is what you're going to play too.
Yep.
And then we're working on the whole project. We're continuing to work on the project, and I'm just keep writing, and then we'll decide which ones are going to end up on the project.
Are you planning to do any music to have pieces back you?
I would love to. You're going to work on that.
Yeah,
We talked about it, and it hasn't happened yet, but I'm keeping hope alive.
yeah, pieces also works with Najee often.
Yes,
You
all the
could,
time. I see him all
yeah,
the time now.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
you can have some great backing band for your
Oh
music.
yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know Riley Richards?
Yeah, yeah.
He was, and Najee is his mentor, and he played on one of my songs that'll be on the CD.
Oh, terrific. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about some of the charitable work that you've done. I know you've done some work in the past for an Art for Animal annual auction, and you
Mm-hmm.
contributed some artwork. Why don't you
Yes.
tell people about some of your charitable work that you do too?
That particular one was they asked for artists to donate artwork for raising funds for the APL. So I don't consider myself, I guess I am an artist, but I was doing at the time cigar box purses, and I would
Okay.
personalize them. The one I made, a rock and roll purse, it was a dog playing a guitar, and everything about it was rock and roll on this purse. So yeah, I do that. I do a lot of clothes. I've done clothing for Shaka Khan and Mickey Howard and
Oh,
Gerald
really?
Levert.
Mickey's
Yeah,
Mickey's been on the Mickey's been on my show too.
I love Mickey. I
Yeah,
love her.
yeah.
And yeah, I do. I dabble here and there. Yeah, I used to really be into artwork, but that was a long time ago. But I still keep up with it. I still do some of my own clothes and jackets, and I'm gonna eventually start selling some stuff on my website.
Oh, that's great. I know you also do other charitable work. You do a lot of work in this Cleveland City school system. Why don't you tell people a little bit about that?
I've done workshops for the city of Cleveland school systems. Uh, it's been so many. I just love kids. I love kids, and when I was teaching at Fine Arts Association, my mom used to be the minority outreach director for Fine Arts Association, and I took piano lessons there, and then years later I ended up she retired from there, and I ended up teaching there. And my students now, it's been so long because I was teaching, but I was also performing, and I got so busy that I wasn't able to teach anymore. But my students are all almost mostly in college. Some of them are married now with kids, and it's crazy to
Wow.
see. I'm like, this was my baby. So yeah, I love these kids.
Yeah, you also did the Tom Joyner Foundation's Fantastic Voyage Cruise too, right?
Yes,
For the
yes, yeah,
HBCUs, and you've been involved raising money for historical
yeah.
historical Black colleges and universities.
Yes. One of my biggest regrets is not going to a HBCU.
You could have gone to Howard right in my backyard.
I wish. I
Yeah,
wish.
yeah,
My
yeah.
mom told me to go, and I was like, nah, I'm just going to stay around home. It's not that
Yeah.
far. That's another regret of mine. I should have branched out a little bit more, but it's okay.
And you also work for the United Negro College Fund also, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you also you did something that was hosted by Lou Rawls, didn't you?
That was the United Negro College
Yeah,
Fund.
that was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you've done a lot of charitable work too.
Hmm.
So I just want people to know that you give back.
Oh, definitely.
You pay it forward.
I'm also involved in what's called the sister study. It follows minority women who have sisters who had breast cancer. But then done that now for 20 years, 20 plus years. So they've been tracking me for years just to see if it's environmental, if it's hereditary, genetic, whatever. And so I do that as well.
You've done so much, and you've appeared with so many people. I want to just review some of the people that you've been on stage with or collaborated with, and I want to ask you then a question about something that stands out in your mind.
Hmm.
I know you've worked with Stevie Wonder, Brian McKnight, Babyface, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, Jill Scott. I mentioned this at the beginning of the show too. Kenny G, Bob Dylan, Cassandra Wilson, John Legend, and you perform with so many gospel singers, like some of my
This was all
favorites.
because I was singing background for other people. So that's how I ended up on stage with all of these people.
And who are you singing backgrounds for? Do you remember?
Gerald Levert and Paul Schaefer and Adam Blackstone and Anthony Hamilton.
But also you were also on stage or performed with Mary Mary or Yolanda Adams, Kirk Franklin.
So Mary, it's funny that I did a Sony showcase way back in the day, and Mary, I was an unsigned artist, and Mary was the signed artist. So I ended up being on the same show with them, and here we are years later. But yeah, Mary, I love Mary.
That's wonderful. And I know you performed with also. I think you went on tour. Or you appeared with Luther Vandross. and the
Gerald
OJs. And
did Luther Vandross's last tour. So
wow,
we ended up and he was so personable. We were hanging out with him. He was laying out, like we would be laying out on the cases and then backstage, and his production was just amazing. It was crazy. And like so many trailers of just wardrobe. Bob Mackie gowns, and it was just
wow,
so opulent. It was beautiful.
wow. I know.
And he
And then
was
also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
he was just such a great guy, really nice guy.
And I know I know that I've seen it mentioned that you were also with the OJs and Carlos Santana, Anita Baker,
So
and Bernie Mac, the comedian.
so Gerald did the Kings of Comedy tour. So because of that, I was on tour with we opened up for them, the Kings of Comedy. I forgot who else you said.
I mentioned Anita Baker and Carlos
Anita
Santana.
Baker, we did shows with her. I was with Anthony when we did Anita Baker. Carlos Santana. Now, Anthony did the tour. We did a whole tour we opened for Carlos Santana, and he had us, the girls, singing background with him. He said, "Would you guys mind joining me for this song?" And we get out there and sing with him. He was, wow. Carlos was great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
He's everything you would think he is. He's all of that.
That's wonderful. And yeah, I'm curious because of all these collaborations. Let me ask you a kind of a thought question. If you could collaborate with any artist, a songwriter, composer, or producer from any time period, anytime, 19th, 20th century, and who would it be and why?
I'm going to say Stevie Wonder.
Go ahead.
I will say Stevie Wonder, but I will also say Gladys Knight because I love Gladys Knight too. And I have this Gladys Knight connection because my grandmother's name is Gladys. My sister was named after my grandmother, so she's Gladys. Everybody used to say my mother looked like Gladys Knight, and everybody says I sound like Gladys Knight. And one of my great friends, I call her my little sister. Her husband is Gladys Knight's music director right now. So I have this whole Gladys thing going on. So I would love to work with her, and of course Stevie Wonder.
We have some more comments coming in. I just noticed.
Beg your pardon?
We have some comments coming in.
Okay.
Eloise Rochelle, very great show. He's really enjoying it, enjoying you being on the show. And Michelle Hardnick.
Hey.
Hello, my beautiful cousin, Sarah's girl.
Hey, Michelle.
So we got a lot of people listening in tonight. It's wonderful.
Great.
Stevie Wonder has always been on my bucket list. I mean, I guess the two people I've wanted to meet because they're so creative in their writing, Stevie Wonder and Elton John.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and two piano men too.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're starting to run down on time. So I want to play another song for everybody, and I want to play the song Tonight.
Okay.
So why don't you tell people a little bit about Tonight and how that song came about?
Tonight was my first single on New Millennium Records at the time, and it picked up a lot more than I expected, but a lot of people really liked that song. That was my first single, so as a solo artist. So that
when did you release that? Do you remember?
Beg your pardon?
When did you release that song? Do you remember?
2011.
2011. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you write it? Did you co-produce it? Tell us a little bit about that.
Leonard Siggers was the actual person the producer of the song, and then I wrote the lyrics.
And the studio musicians, do you remember who they may be?
Earl Minor, Leonard, I think Brandon Landrum, he also worked with me on lyrics. So we wrote about, I think, 10 songs on that project together, me, Brandon, Leonard, and Earl Minor.
And those were your first releases?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, let's listen to Tonight by Sarah's Girl, and then we'll talk some more.
Awesome.
Now I have to put my glasses on to be able to see the song. Okay, we'll be right back.
Come on.
It's just great. Great song.
Glad
Love
you
it.
like it.
Yeah, we have a whole bunch of more comments. Let me see what we got here. Peggy Hopper. I remember this song. I fell in love with it. My first love sang it to me. I still play it today. I love you, Stacey.
Wow. Awesome.
Let's see, another one. Oh, I know Jeannie. Jeannie's a really dear friend of mine. She's
Hey,
listening in.
Jeannie.
Beautiful song.
Thank you. Thank you.
Elsie Calhoun. Love the groove.
Oh, cool.
Brad Drinks. Your voice is classic old school.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got a lot of fans and you're making new fans tonight. It looks like this.
Awesome. I need them all.
Wonderful. So, let's talk a little bit more about, because time is running short now.
Okay.
After all you've accomplished, and you've done so much in your career, but every artist evolves, and you've evolved also. In 5 years from now, what kind of music do you see yourself doing?
Still doing jazz, R&B, gospel, but My biggest goal is to sing with an orchestra. I would love to sing with an orchestra. So hopefully I can make that happen somehow, some way.
I may be able to help you with that.
Really?
Really? Really?
I would love to do that. That is like on my bucket list. I actually sung with an orchestra when I was 12 years old, National Baptist Congress. And all I remember is being out on stage. I didn't even know it was that many people there until the lights came on. It was like a convention center, but I was 12 years old and I was in the youth choir, and it was just dark. It was pitch black and just one light. I couldn't see anything. And it was like singing in the shower, and I did what I was supposed to do. And then the lights came on and I freaked out.
I have a question for you because it's related to you singing with an orchestra. Have you ever thought about doing a Gladys Knight retrospective?
Oh, I would love, love, love. So we talked about maybe doing a Gladys Knight tribute eventually. I would love to do that.
Well, I may be able to hook you up with the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra if you do that.
Oh my goodness. I would love to.
I think in their off season, they would love to have something like that to draw people to the orchestra.
That would be fantastic. Yes.
Let's talk about that after the show.
Okay.
I think that would be a really killer show.
I did a Gladys Knight tribute with a band here called Hub's Groove, which is one of the most popular jazz groups here in Cleveland. I did a Gladys Knight tribute. I think 2 or 3 dates. It was amazing. I could sing her all day long. Actually, when I did the Sony Showcase years ago, it was because they said I sounded like Gladys Knight and they wanted that sound. But then they said I sounded so mature, and at the time I was so young, and we're like, we don't know how to market this. Because my voice was way more mature than, of course, I was at the time. Well,
this would be a perfect time for you to consider doing this.
I would love it. Oh my goodness.
Well, we could talk about that.
Okay.
We're really running down on time now. So I want to turn to your last song, Wake Up, Let's Make Love Again.
Okay.
And why don't you tell people a little bit about this song?
So you're getting a sneak peek right here.
Yay.
Because it's coming out for Valentine's Day. So for those who, there's going to be a whole lot leading up to it, but today you're going to get it exclusively right here with Mel.
That's wonderful. I've had a few exclusives, and I always love that because it gives my audience a chance to hear some of the great music that artists are working on currently.
So Tony is Nicholas E-Tones. He is the person who produced this song. I heard it. It was supposed to be for someone else, and I'm not going to say whose name it was because I don't want them to try to take it back. And he did this song for another artist, and I heard it, and I was like, we got to do this song. And he did the mock on it, and I said, you need to leave your vocals and let's do it as a duet. Tony is the OJ's music director right now, so he is the person on the song with me.
Terrific. Okay, well, let's listen to the song that's going to be out on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
You're hearing it first on my show, The Power Hour, on the Source TV radio network. So let's listen to Wake Up and Let's Make Love Again.
Awesome.
Last night was incredible. The love you gave to me was no less than impeccable. It was such a surprise to me. You didn't seek reciprocity. It was all about me. It was all about me. So wake up, baby. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Ooh. Let's make love again. Come on, lady. Get up, get up, get up. Let's do it all again. Baby, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's make love again. I still want you. I still want you. I still want you. I still want no distractions, babe. No, baby. 'Cause my mind
ready to blow when you do what you do, what you do.
Boy, it's plain to me we were meant to be just the way we are right now. So baby, come on, baby, wake up. Let's do it once again.
Let's do it all again.
Baby, wake up.
Let's make love again.
I still want you.
I still want you. I still want you. You make me feel like I'm so high when I'm with you. 'Cause nobody knows me like you do, and I mean it, baby. Can you show me how?
I wanna make the magic last. 'Cause boy, I'm ready to make all the love you can take. It's time for you to learn. So baby, wake Wake up, baby, baby, wake up. Baby, wake up.
From the first time I saw you, baby,
Say that you want me, baby.
I knew I wanted to give you all the love I have inside. If you say the word, baby,
I still want you. I still want you.
say that you want me, baby,
Let's make
baby.
love again.
I wanna love you. All over your body, baby. I still want you.
I still want you. Yeah.
Wonderful. I love this song. Thank you so much for premiering this on the Power Hour on the Source
Thank
Radio Network. And we have, here's a comment, Susan Biagin. I want it.
Good, go get it. It's coming out soon.
Here's another one. Carol Long Tour. I'm buying it for my husband for Valentine's Day. He needs to wake up more often.
Oh, wow. Go get it for him.
That's funny. And here's another one. Tom Skinner. Beautiful.
Thank you. I loved it when I heard it. I was like, I gotta do that one with you. Yeah.
Well,
It's definitely a Valentine's song.
it definitely is. And you know, you've had quite a number of people tuning in tonight and listening to your music and commenting. We have other comments. I just can't put all of them up here. There's too many.
Okay.
You know, but I'll send them to you later.
Awesome.
So, you know, this is a wonderful song, everybody. You know, this is your chance to go out and, you know, have something special for Valentine's Day and send it to your partner, your loved one, your friends. It's
Yes.
a beautiful song. Again, it's called Wake Up and Let's Make Love Again.
Yep.
All right.
Make all
Stacey,
those November babies.
yeah. Stacey, we're over the hour already. It's been so wonderful having you here tonight. I've
Thanks for
really
having
enjoyed it a lot.
Thanks
And,
for having me.
You know, please tell everybody, how can they become a fan? Where can they buy your music?
I'm on Sarah's Girl Music on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. We have to switch everything over from my page to the Sarah's Girl page, but it's also there. It's up, Sarah's Girl on YouTube as well.
Terrific. And where can they buy your music?
Now it's out on all the Colors of Love is out on all streaming it's everywhere right now. And then Wake Up will be available on Valentine's Day.
And can anybody get a signed copy?
Absolutely.
How would they do that?
Contact me.
Terrific. And how do they contact you? What's your email?
And the website is Sarah's Girl Music as well. So
Terrific.
through the website, through Sarah's Girl on Facebook, Instagram, Sarah's Girl Music, or YouTube.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Look, Stacey, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm glad I could present your new music. Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you.
And I want to have you back again. So, as you do new things and you do new tours or new music, please come back and share everything with everybody one more time.
I would love to.
Wonderful. Well, look, you have a wonderful evening. Okay.
You too. Thanks, Mel.
Wonderful. Good night. Well, everybody, that concludes the show for tonight. We have next week. We may have a surprise guest for you on the 4th of February. We're having jazz holdouts. You got to hear these dudes. I mean, they have produced some wonderful music. So be sure to come back and check in with us next week on the Jazz Confusion Power Hour. And also, be sure to join us on February 4th for a whole new season of music and jazz for everybody. So good night, everybody. I'm Mel Albin. I'm the host and the founder of the Jazz Confusion Power Hour.
My name is Dion Parson, and I'm honored to share my passion of music with you, our listening audience, through my cultural heritage.
Things can change for you too. If you want to be brand new, that is absolutely possible.